I suggested and guaranteed you that they would start January 15th. I was 4 days out. Guaranteed. The only one. By the way, I heard Kadri's a pretty good hockey player. I heard before the game.
The guy you've been touting for 4 years?
Is that the guy? Should have been. I'll tell you one thing. He was a better hockey player. He's a good hockey player now. A better hockey player when he was 18. They had those two dummies giving it to him, kicking him around, lost his confidence, but he's still a good player.
Come back to that. You were saying, Don, that because they had injuries, they gave Mike Koska a lot of ice time with the Marlies, and he was sensational.
Hey, yeah. And Gardner doesn't get hurt. Hate to say that. He gets hurt and everything, but if he doesn't get hurt, this guy doesn't step up like he is. He's a Etobicoke boy, and he played for Aurora Tigers. Ajax Axman played for Rochester 2 years ago. He fought his way up from the American hockey. Watch these passes, boy. He is the best defenseman, bar none, for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I love these guys that are in the American Hockey League that fight. He paid his dues. Oh, hey, to watch him, got that sticking around in there, pull the stick away. Can't say enough. Don't want to waste too much time here because I'm very, very excited.
That's why I was going to ask you about PK Subban, but the hot stove tonight in the second intermission will give all the details about where that contract's at.
What's too much?
Oh, all right.
$6 million.
You may have another shot at it because you're coming on at the end of the Ducks and the Canucks in the first period later tonight. Top prospects, Doug MacLean, Mike McPhee, they get the $100 off of you, and here are some of the highlights of the game that was played in Halifax, and I have a theory. I've got a couple of them.
That guy who's dressed like that, no matter.
Ryan Hartman, 20 seconds in, he hit, and he hit again. And then on the other side of it, Nikita Zadorov for Team Orr was just like a bull out there.
Watch Reichel go back at Hartman, though. Watch this. Here it is. Reichel, Warren's happy, very happy. Great fight. There's that Jones and everything. Boy, I'll tell you, Nurse, that was Nurse. Saw him when he was 15 years old, too. And Doug MacLean, you know, he came there with $15. That's how much comment he had.
Spencer Martin of Oakville. Okay, here's in net, by the way, for Team Orr was terrific at the early part of the game. And there you are with Owen.
Owen Grace, the little kid, he's a beautiful little kid. I don't know what went on there.
It was huge on Twitter.
Yeah,
Facebook,
I don't get it. I didn't even know what was going on. And he come down to meet me. I didn't even know about it. And you know what he said? He can't play hockey like Nathan McKinnon he wants, but he says he's going to win a goal, he's going to play sledge hockey, and he's going to win a goal for Canada. Kind of choked you up a little.
I honestly felt that Nathan McKinnon, Jonathan Drouin, the young Mooseheads were a little nervous. Fucali played great. But now here's my big theory, though. 4 months sitting around watching the World Juniors, and I want to see what you think of this. Canada gets smoked 5-1 in the big game by the Americans. There's 301 collegians in the NHL, and I was thinking because it's an all-star team for Canada, thrown together, you don't move the puck. The collegians, they say, NCAA, they get to spend time in the weight room. They're quicker on the big ice.
That is so... You're starting up with those theories already, the first one. That is so wrong. First of all, there's 8 guys that played for the U.S. team from the Canadian Hockey League. And I must admit that the college hockey and U.S. development, they do train them for college hockey and, you know, tournaments like that. We in the Canadian Hockey League work at making them the National Hockey League. That's a silly theory right off the bat. Stupid. All right, let's go.
Well, Brian Burke, everybody wants to know what you think. It sounds like you got your wish. How do you feel about it?
Why would you mean I got my wish? When he first came here, when he first came here, I was a guy. Remember I come on, Brian Burke, when he comes here, boy, the Leafs are going to be something. And what, he comes, truculent. We're going to have a team, truculent, pugnacious. What was the other thing? I forget the other stuff he said. And he does, a week later, he turns right around. Instead of getting tough guys and Canadian guys, remember in Anaheim he had all Canadian guys? He starts getting U.S. college guys, Finns and Swedes. What is this? Truculent, pugnacious and stuff like that? You're kidding? I'm going to tell you why. When I saw Colton Orr sent down, who he loved, I knew what the problem was. He was loyal to Wilson. And the same thing, a GM has got to give the players he wants, and they were roommates and everything in Harvard. Harry Sinden had an MVP down in Rochester, leading scorer, and I asked for a tough guy that got 3, John Winsing, and he gave him to me. But I only had 1 year. If I hadn't come through in that 1 year, I would have been gone. These guys got 4 years. 4 years of a failure, and he was shocked. Tom and selling the Leafs did the only thing they did that was too bad.
Which I would buy if they didn't keep Dave Nonis and the rest of the operation, because it sort of looks like the same direction.
And this silly thing of why didn't he fire him earlier, the CBA was on, and they had directions not to do anything in the CBA on. Nonis is a perfect guy to fill right in. They can't get a new guy in there. He knows everybody. He was a GM before.
And they gave it to him for his style, for his way, or for how?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not that thing with Burke. He said if he was in first spot, that he would be able to, still be there. All he needed to do was make the playoffs. He was too loyal to Wilson, and that's why he's down the garden path right now.
Okay, and the lockout, Don. You wanted to have a say on
that?
The
lockout, if this was a boxing match, I would say 8-2 for the owners. I know you're going to be arguing. I'm not giving you much chance, but 8-2, and I'll tell you why. What did they gain? They really gained nothing. And a lot of people say that the NHL lost a revenue of $1 million. No, they didn't. They didn't pay the player $800,000. The players lost $800,000 for their pay. And what did they get? They got a few things like that. The NHL, no, I don't have much time. I got to keep going. The NHL won this 8-2. And you know the guys I admire and I feel sorry for? The committee. Nobody's talking about them. You see any stars in there? Weber and Tavares, maybe the oldest. The other way, they're just sluggos like I was. When I was in the American Hockey League, believe it or not, I had to go down. We were trying in the minor league, trying to get a pension and all stuff like that. All the guys that showed up were sluggos like they there. And I feel sorry for, I'm not going to, Capillary and all guys like that. Some guys don't have a contract and they won't get a contract. Some guys
don't
are
you
on
think the owners, Don, feel like they won't mess with the players quite the way they thought they could this time, even though they may have won it?
Listen, I knew Fuhrer would go, and that's why you say, how did you know? I knew he'd go right to the very bottom and get the last loss. They lost, Bettman won, and I feel sorry. I feel sorry for the sluggos. The other guys are over in Europe. Hey, you fight our fights, we'll come over here.
Gotta go.
I gotta go.
You'll be on again, though.
Oh, no, I've got to stay. Scott McKay.
Oh, good.
We're the Leafs ex-trainer, have a little tough time at St. Mike's, and I'll tell you, we're thinking all the hockey guys are thinking of you.
And I'm still happy for Fuhrer, but you're Bud's wise, according to Don Cherry in the Coach's Corner on Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Coach's Corner on CBC.